Hello, I'm Ruth, and welcome back to This Is How We Roll. We've got a lot to cover today. This week, we're going to mostly be going over different gadgets and stuff I use that I have found to be helpful, and they're all going to be relatively inexpensive. However, before we get into that, I want to talk about warnings. At certain parts throughout my series, I'm going to have warnings. These warnings include discussion of intimate care, discussion of emotionally sensitive material, and discussion of sexual topic. Discussion of intimate care includes bathrooming, cleanliness, prevention of infection. Discussion of emotionally sensitive topic includes discussion of anything that could bring up difficult emotions or memories. At some point, I plan on doing an episode about some of the times where I've had struggles with mental health related to my condition and ways that I've got through them. The goal is to give advice to help others who may be struggling get through the difficult time. The final one is discussion of sexual topic. I feel like this is the most self-explanatory. However, you won't be hearing anything more graphic than you would hear in a sophomore health class. I mostly want to go over danger prevention. I feel like it's important for everyone to pick up on signals when a date or situation may not be going in the direction they expected it to. However, I feel it's even more important for those with disabilities, as if we get ourselves into an unexpected situation, it's much more difficult to get out, so we have to be more honed into cues and signals. Warnings will always occur at the end of the episode. They will be the last segment, and I will label the warning with which of the three it is going to be about. It's really hard for me to say what age they are appropriate for because I honestly feel like every child and every parent is different. Warnings are just kind of a listener discretion type thing, I guess. Today we will encounter our first warning, and it will be discussion of intimate care. So, getting into the gadgets. All of these gadgets will be common household supplies that I have found to be useful. None of them will have the medical label, which means that they're affordable. So, the first one I want to go over is literally called the Grabber Reacher Tool, found at Walmart for $17.25. I have something very similar, but I got mine from Fred Meyer. I can't quite remember exactly what the price was, but it was in that ballpark. This tool has been a life changer for me because now I'm able to pick up things by myself instead of having to get someone get them for me. The second one I would like to talk about is hands-free whitening toothbrush, found at sharperimage.com for $69.99. This is a U-shaped electric toothbrush. It says that the toothbrush gives you 360 cleaning in just 30 seconds. It also has a built-in blue light, optional whitening feature. This toothbrush isn't exactly what it claims to be. It claims that you just need to do it once. However, I don't find that it gets to the back of my teeth if I just do it once. So I like to do it once pushed over to the right side of my mouth, once pushed over to the left side of my mouth, and once in the middle. This is to ensure that I'm cleaning all my teeth. The charger can be a bit of a pain because it can be a little bit temperamental. However, overall, I feel like it's a really helpful device. The next thing is capes. You can get capes on Amazon for about $40. You can get capes that are shorter, meaning they only cover your shoulder and biceps. You can get capes that are longer, that come all the way down to the backs of your legs. And you can get capes that are somewhere in between. When you are looking them up, I suggest that you type in capes for cold weather. That way you don't get Halloween costume type capes. This is so helpful because I can put it on by myself. I can also take it off by myself. This is due to the fact that it does not have any sleeves. Next, there are leg warmers. These can be found in most stores for about $8. These are really helpful in protecting tendons. I know that the tendons on the top of my feet often get pulled in the winter as I am colder and more tense. So these are really helpful in stopping pain. If you wear socks, they can also serve the similar purpose. However, I personally cannot wear socks because my feet get too hot. Next up is heavy-duty Velcro. You can get 5 yards of black or white 4-inch self-adhesive hook and loop Velcro for $27.34 at securecablesandties.com. It's crazy the amount of times you will need Velcro. Even if you don't need it to adhere to itself, you can still attach a piece of the loop side onto the hook side and vice versa so that you can stick it in a loop, making a strap. I know personally I need straps for everything. I actually used to have really bad spastic events in the back of the bus, but my mom was able to make a strap to hold my feet down and it stopped that from happening. I also need straps to be held on to, not all, but a lot of devices that aren't my wheelchair. So I'm a huge Velcro advocate. Next up, I would like to talk about something called the Trimet Lift Pass. Trimet Lift is a transportation service for people who have disabilities and therefore cannot drive. It is $2.50 for a one-way trip, $5 for a round trip. You can get a monthly pass for $75, and you cannot exceed that amount in the month. However, if you don't think that you are going to be spending that much, you can choose to load on whatever amount you want. It is a little bit of a process to sign up, but it's definitely worth it. If you just go to their website, you can follow their prompts, and they will tell you whether you're eligible or not. Next up, we're going to be talking about something called Oxy Pads. These can be found at practically any drugstore for about $4.57. These are really just facial cleanser on a pad. You don't need any water, you just wipe your face with it. It's really helpful for days when you feel like washing your face with soap and water will be too difficult. Next is body cleansing wipes. These can be found at practically any drugstore for about $10. These are really helpful for days when you feel like it will be too difficult to have a full-blown shower. These obviously aren't as good as taking a shower, but they're helpful and they can help you stay clean for another day. The cleanser is gentle but effective, so it is safe for body, face, and intimate cleansing. Dry Shineproof. This can be found at any drugstore for about $6. It's just something that's really helpful to clean your hair if you feel like having a shower is going to be too intense. Much like the body cloths, it is not going to be as good as a shower, but it can help hold you off for a day. Manual face cleansing brush. These can be found at multiple different places. This particular one was found on Shein.com for $4. This is really helpful for applying face wash. You can get an electric face brush, however they are a little bit more expensive. Next, we're going to be talking about messenger bags. These can be found in a lot of different places. However, this particular one was found at Shein.com for $12. These are really helpful because if you remove the straps and the flap, you can attach it to the side of your wheelchair. This is what my mom has done for me, and it serves as my backpack at school. I don't recommend spending too much money on your messenger bag because you're going to be cutting it up. iPad keyboard case. These vary in price depending on what kind of iPad you have and what size. They're typically between $10 and $40, and they can be found on Amazon. I love this product because it literally allows me to turn my iPad into a laptop. This is very helpful to me at college taking notes. I can't handle the full size of a laptop because I'm not strong enough, but the little iPad makes it really easy. Next, there is the iRing. This is a grip device for the backs of phones. It can be found on Amazon.com for about $10. I know there are other grip devices for the backs of phones, but this one is particularly helpful because it slides onto your finger. Small cup. I know it sounds crazy, but having a small cup like a child's cup is really helpful because it doesn't take up a lot of space and you can fill it up at the water fountain. It's helpful to me because there's not enough room in my messenger bag for everything, including a water bottle, so I have the cup instead. Plastic mason jar cup with lid and handle. These can be found on a lot of different places. However, these particular ones I found on Amazon.com, and it's a 2-pack for $17.99. These are really helpful because I know personally if I get into a conversation, I will start to tilt my cup, so the lid helps me not to spill. Also, the lid helps me not to spill if I happen to flinch. The handle is really nice in order to get a secure, comfortable grip. Plastic wine glasses with straw and lid. I'm not going to lie, these can be pretty difficult to find. However, they're a really nice thing to have, especially around the holidays. This particular one was found at Walmart for $12.49. It's just nice to have because you can have a drink in a nice glass like everyone else, but you have the comfort of knowing that you have the lid. Reusable straws. They can be found at almost any grocery store for about $5. These particular ones are found at Walmart for $4.99. These are really nice tool because you never know when you're going to need a straw. It's true that a lot of places offer them, but sometimes random incidents come up where you need one and they're not offered. Snack plates. You can get these at almost any grocery store by multiple different brands for about $3. This particular one is by Hillshire, found at Safeway for $2.99. I believe my mom often finds them at grocery outlet for about $1 cheaper. For lunch at college, I usually take a snack plate and a Capri Sun. This next one is going to sound kind of funny, but hard candy. I don't have a lot of specifics for it, but it can be found at any grocery store for pretty cheap. It's really helpful because when you have a disability, it can often be difficult to eat a full lunch at work or college due to accessing food, from problems like reaching it and carrying it. It can also be difficult to find a place to eat due to needing a height-appropriate desk. So in light of that, hard candy is a really good way of keeping your blood sugar up when eating opportunities may be compromised. Next up is also going to sound kind of funny. Allergy pills. You can find them at any drugstore. These particular ones are Claritin, found at Target for $18.94 for 30 tablets. However, you can often find the generic brand for a lot cheaper. And they just work really well to help manage nerve problems. I personally don't listen to the time restrictions and I just take them as needed. I have nerve issues, possibly linked to a spinal operation I had a couple years ago, and they're just really good at helping me manage the pain. They don't necessarily take the pain away per se, but they can if I take them on a day when I'm feeling like a 9, like unbearable pain with my nerve issues, if I take the medication, it can take it down to a 4 or 5 where I don't feel well per se, but I'm able to function. Next up, we're going to be talking about rubber mats with a ramp. These are really helpful in getting over thresholds like in and out of doors. I found the ones that I have at home on Amazon. I got to them by typing into Google search doormat with ramp for wheelchair mobility on Amazon. They vary in price depending on how high you need the ramp to be, but you can get a 1-inch ramp for $39.99, and they go up in price depending on how high you want the ramp to be. The last thing we are going to be talking about today is feminine hygiene spray. This can be found at practically any drugstore for about $3. It's just really helpful in staying clean. I find it especially true when I come home from being out somewhere, like college. There are a lot of times when it is difficult to wipe when I'm using other restrooms, so when I come home I usually like to wipe with a wet one and then use some feminine hygiene spray to help prevent infections. That's all for this week. So until next time, remember we're all different, so just roll with it.